Thanks for staying with us. So, the former spokesman to the former president of Nigeria, Dr. Goodluck Jonathan, Reno Omokri, is of the opinion that many people are religious and churchy because of poverty. I mean, in his recent post, he said when these same people relocate to the abroad, they say that their prayers are easily answered and their requests are met in these locations. They lose their religiosity. Now, it's worth discussing because many Nigerians are relocating and have relocated. And they observe that when they're in Nigeria, they go to church very religiously. But once they get abroad, for some whatever reason, they take their time in finding a church. In fact, I remember that when I moved to the US, I mean, our vigil ends at midnight. You dare not carry vigil after midnight because we got to go to work. You know, here you do vigil to 2 a.m. and you still kind of get, you know. So it kind of just reduces. So we're discussing, is it society, or do we agree with Reno that it's poverty that is causing all of us to go and sleep and do everything and just die in church? I say, you know, we die here. Father, answer my prayer. I'm not leaving until my prayer is answered. What are your thoughts on this? You can call us on 08127053687. 09139076948. You can also send us messages on YouTube and on Facebook. We'll be happy to read your messages. Who would like to go first?
So I would agree with him a bit and disagree with him at the same time because I know that Nigerians are not the only ones that are religious. So I did a little research this morning and I found that the United States has the largest Christian population in the world, followed by Brazil, Mexico, and Russia. We never even come close. That's one. Then projections have the United States remaining the nation with the greatest number of Christians and increasing in raw numbers from 248 to 260 million in 2060, though they projected that there will be a drop after a few years.
Did they count off?
No, they did in the world. However, the problem that we have as Nigerians.
Religiosity.
Yes, no, we don't separate it here. Okay. It's we now that are beginning to be awakened that know the difference. We don't separate it here. So when I'm talking religion, I'm talking about people who go to either the churches or the mosques. So that's our religion right now. So I wanted to say that the problem we have is how we do what we do. It's not about the religion itself. So we have taken the label, the religion, and we have forgotten the content. And that is why you do not see that reflection in every other thing. So you see a lot of people going to church, praying for their enemies and all that. And from the pulpit, as they leave and they get home, they start fighting their neighbors. They are stealing. They are the ones corrupt. The same set of people are the ones in the clubs on Friday night to Saturday. The same set of people are the ones in their offices looting. The same set of people. So it's how we do what we do. We bring the Nigerian factor into what we do. It's not about the religion, so to speak. Because we have other people outside the world who still go to churches, but they live differently. We see the fruits of the Spirit compared to what we do.
That's not our conversation. The conversation is that in Nigeria, you do the basic. Okay, so maybe you're not the same person, but you do your religious activities. When you now go abroad, it just changes.
Because we're naturally not religious people. So we just hang on to that because that's the only way we see hope somehow to go through what we're going through.
Thank you, Mariam.
I agree with him completely. Because I understand how... See, I remember there's this small red car my mom used to have. Where she started it, before she started the morning, she would pray to Jesus. Jesus, please, this car has to start. But when she comes back, she'll be like, do you know I was driving and they started making this sound. And then I prayed to God and that. But when she changed that car, I do not remember her praying for the car in the morning. Or, you know, you wake up in the morning and you know you need to go to work. You need to press your clothes. And there's no electricity. You're praying to Jesus, please, God, touch NEPA. Let there be light, you know. So those sort of things, daily, you now remember. Then the higher power you go to, because you can't go to any organ, you cannot report to any manager. There's nobody to send a complaint to. You have to go to the higher power that you just kneel. They say once you just kneel down and pray to Him,
everything
He will answer everything miraculously.
No, pause for a second. You know what you just said. So if you're in an office and maybe you have this boss that's always on your case. You know how we pray and fast? Father, this is my boss. Replace him. Send him to give him a message. It's because there's no proper process. if you're in a company where there's proper procedure, when you are promoted where you're supposed to be promoted, where a place you can actually send your complaints to HR is functional.
You trust the system.
You know, you trust the system.
Yes.
You wouldn't have to be praying against this boss because you know that at some point he's going to.
Yes.
So that's probably the issue.
That's how we do what we do. And I believe, and because of that, that's why they would say maybe some people believe more in science because it's logical. They can see the beginning and the end. That's one. And then another thing I've seen with people where they live where, you know, there's affluence, better societies, that they have another religion of love and kindness. So it's no more about Christianity or Islam. Everything works, so now they understand that what is more important is how I relate to you, humanity, humane, you know, that you are. And that's why I agree with him. Yeah.
I think Reno touched something soft because I have these reflections on the 5 before 5. So there's an hadith of the prophets that take care of 5 before 5. Take care of your youth before your old age, your health before illnesses, your free time before you're busy. And I have gotten to that busy. Every day I'm trying to reflect on that every time and all of that. And when he said this thing, I'm wondering, in the very religious countries that there's extreme abundance, there's this tendency to forget the creator, the source. Yeah. So you see in Saudi, for instance, there's a high level of human rights abuses for people they are supposedly lower than them. The final message of the Prophet ﷺ ended slavery, even before slavery ended in the Western world. It ended discrimination against race, across race, ended racism. But the Saudians, the people who are the custodians of the Kaaba, are the ones looking at it. And when they see a black man, something that the Prophet ﷺ that brought the message cancelled, are the ones who cannot remember to be God-fearing and be kind to that black man except he's visiting on the Hajj. If he's working there or is a staff within, they cannot. So I think it's that loss, disconnect with the creator. You're constantly supposed to, even when everything is working, when you flick, light is working, you flick, to be remembering the source so that you don't get carried away and think all of that is for granted. It's because, you know, that's where you miss the line of science. I have seen science and I have seen God. Yes. This Imran, doctors were going to just abort the baby. That was science. The logical thing was abort the baby. So they took a risk of maximum of 28 days. He will be naturally aborted. Let's just fix the sacrilege and watch it happen naturally. And so Madame went inside the ward. I was listening to the advice that you have to sit on the bed, lie down if this is going to work. But you know, these are the pluses and minuses. And I can afford the health. We paid. So it's not about money. The doctors and availability, the expertise is there. But at that point, when everything has been done, you call God. So
but do you know that
when
if you live abroad, God, you might not get to that level because science has such advanced that you wouldn't even get to the point. Maybe there won't be a 28-day issue.
That's the reality.
I disagree too.
You know, I lost one. So whether science or not, there's God factor.
Yeah, there is.
So at that point, I was like, so this is happening again. Okay, God, at this point, let's talk. What do you want that I have not done? And there's a tradition of Islam where you tell God, okay, I have done this for you. I have been a good person. I need you to do this for me. You can converse with good deeds that you have done sincerely for God. And I was thinking, at that point, I could not think of the ones I had done, but in the course of 2-3 days, I was remembering, hey, one woman that I helped, I totally just helped that woman because of God. And I was negotiating. And when I did my 34 weeks, in fact, the day I carried my baby, I sat there in front of the hospital. I did not remember I paid the doctors. I prostrated in front of the hospital because I told God, if I walk out with this baby, healthy and alive, I will worship you. So there's this line of us getting carried away because it's not us. So let's not forget that.
Fantastic. Let's go on a quick break. When we come back, we'll continue this conversation. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Thanks for staying with us. So we're still going back to, I know we've all said our initial thoughts. What Reno was saying is that many of us resort to religion because we are very poor. So some of these health issues, for example, somebody's child has malaria and they go carry the child to the altar and they're begging God to have mercy so the child doesn't die. Malaria could have been easily cured. If you live in a different country, maybe they have normal flu or something, and then that shouldn't be a problem. So we realize that most of our prayer points is about ancestral demons that are disturbing you, for not letting you to move forward, or not letting you to get a job. Village people that, you know. So if you look at it, if you sit down and write out your prayer points and review each prayer point, you know, so if I was living abroad, what would be my prayer points? That's what Reno is saying.
Yeah. And I also understand that aspect, but what I'm beginning to see is we are not really problem solvers. So everything we hang on religion because we have not been taught how to apply, how to think. So you have a problem in front of you, and instead of you to apply logic and reasoning, you resort to prayer because that's the easy way, as far as I'm concerned. But when you sit down and think through this, we've not mastered the art of critical thinking. That's what I just see. When we sit down and think through, you see that you come up with solutions. And you know, you have this problem and the solution is looking at you. But you are waiting for a God who will come down and manufacture it for you. So he has given you a tree and you need a table. And you're waiting for him to give you the table. We don't like to apply ourselves. So we transfer everything to God, save me. God, help me. God, kill my enemies. God, your enemies that you want to kill, it could have been your bad mouth that made them your enemy in the first place. A simple kindness would have turned them to your friends. You know, we don't apply. Also, we're not really content. Even if we have all the basic amenities, some of us will still be praying that we're always the head, or everybody wants to be the head. Have you ever seen an animal with just heads as body parts? It will be a monster. You can be the tail and be an excellent tail. Yes. You can be the hand and be an excellent hand. Why do we all have to be the head? The mentality of the Oyibo people is different. So I have rich Oyibo people. I went to, I've always said this, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. They are very rich Americans who are in that church, but they are content. They have a simple home, a simple life, and they're okay. Be the best still. They are okay with what they have. They are not constantly competing with one another. Yeah. If we sort that out, we will not really blame religion. It's our mentalities, how we do things.
The preacher pastor says, God has a message for just one person.
Everybody.
That will get $1 million today.
And everybody, you don't have the job, you collect the highest amen. And then you go back and start hoping.
Okay, I have to take this call. Good morning, are you there?
Yeah, good morning.
You're live. Go ahead, please, Harriet.
Yes, please. My name is Mrs. Harriet Okpine. Hi, Miriam.
I can't hear you, but go ahead.
How are you, darling Miriam? How are you?
Oh, Auntie Harriet, I think.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, sweetheart. How are you? Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Yeah, I just want to continue. Yeah, the topic for today, which is why we are. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
We're so religious.
I think it's on the
but
studio.
When you travel abroad, you just find out that you more or less like struggle to say you want to pray. This is it, yeah? When you're in a system where things work, you understand me? There is life.
I can't hear.
Everything is working. And there is this atmosphere of peace. You don't have to struggle even when you are qualified. Do you understand? You get what you are qualified to get. So in that aspect, you find out that except the ones that have that really strong faith, are the ones who still carry on with that aspect of religion. Not that they have forgotten their maker, but they begin to appreciate the fact that these people here, when you look back, they are really not into religion like us, but they make things work. Everybody does what they are meant to do. Not just everybody. Do you understand? So you find out that in our own system, we every day have to even ask for the things we are not even meant to ask God for. That's automatically there for us. Just because certain people are not allowing it to be. So that is the issue.
Thank you very much, Harriet.
So Nigerians also pray for good leadership. But where we won't pick up from, more important. You know, we pray for that every time. And you'd expect that we are who we are. The places we talk about, there are people naturally are looking out for themselves. They're thinking of a collective and the common good of the entire people. But in Nigeria, an average person wants to be king, and they will call it that my generation not go back. But you are the only one who walk the walk. You now have to permanently steal the money so that your generation will not go back if you do not send the right values. I grew up seeing Nigerians. I believe Nigerians that are excellent people are existing. It's just this loud, more population of people like that, you know, that are not willing to wait. We used to have dignity in selling one thing all our lives, and you will die, you'll be known as the Yolole.
All right, let me take Marcus and I'll come to Miriam. Marcus, are you there? Hello, Marcus, are you there? Hello, Marcus, are you there? Okay, go ahead, Miriam.
Okay. There are things.
Yes, you're live. Go ahead, please.
Okay, there are things in this life you think requires supernatural to handle. There are things your logic, your analysis cannot even handle. There are things you do analysis, yes, you still find it wrong. You still require the supernatural to make it work. Although our system here is not working, due to the people on ground, it doesn't make it to work. That's why sometimes we go more closer to God. Because if things are meant to work, we should give God a break and use our logic, analysis, and whatever to make it work.
Yeah.
Because the system here is corrupt. That's why we're having this issue.
Yeah.
That's why we go more to God, because since the system has failed, that's why we run to God. But if the system has not failed, we have to give God the cause is drinking, he's doing whatever he wants to do. Well, just because the system is not working, that's why we go more to God. Then there are things we require God to do when our logic and analysis.
Thank you, Marcus. So he's saying that's
system isn't working.
what it is.
Yeah.
We don't have hope. I mean, that's
Someone
how
said
so,
yes, go ahead, Mariam.
Okay. So there's something also about being poor and just think that religion is about how it helps you. So I remember many years ago, we were watching this show, this Oprah show with my mom, where Oprah was giving people cars. So she says, everybody look under your seat and say, you get a car, you get a car. My mom and I were in the sitting room in Jos, screaming alongside everybody. And I was like, oh, Mommy, I wish I was there. I would have gotten a car for you. She says, no, I don't want you to do that. I want you to be able to do it for other people one day. I don't want you to be the one to receive it, you know. And then I remember growing, you know, just coming to Lagos. And I was saying this to Obiajulu that there's a prayer here in Lagos a lot. I'm praying for my helper. So this helper is not Jesus, it's not God, it's not Holy Spirit. It's another human being you're hoping God is arranging the helper for you. And I'm like, why are we praying for help? Why are we not praying to be helpers? Why is it always that we're looking for someone?
My helper must locate me.
Yes.
Somebody must always locate you.
Yes, but first be somebody's...
that they want to locate.
Yes.
You to let people be located.
Be the point where you are
locatable.
Yes. Be the person that wants to help someone. If we are all helpers, do you understand? We will stop this poverty. But secondly, it makes me think, and you can agree or disagree, that then prayer is not, religion and prayer is not really about, you know, until we do our part. So what I'm trying to say, God has given it to us. So this poverty, our bad leadership, the corruption, we have prayed, we have congregated, we have spent many nights in churches, and it has not changed. So it's really on us. So I think for me, it's like God is saying, I've done my part. I've created you. I've given you a life and a brain. Do your part. And I'm here for, you know, for the other things that I don't need, you don't need me to work for. But we cannot keep blaming religion or poverty. We have to change. Also, we need to change our mindset.
All right, let me go
earlier, can I just add one? Earlier, you were saying something about the economy. Maybe that's why some people are stealing, judges are stealing. We cannot keep blaming the economy or poverty. We have to start blaming ourselves and taking responsibility.
All right, let's go on a break. When we come back, we'll bring in our guest. I'm sure he has a few things to add to this conversation. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.